what might be relevant. And I had the opportunity to be in Moab last weekend, and I have a friend there. I was in his office. I was perusing his books, and I just picked up one. I liked the title. It said, "The Greatest Thing in the World." And I opened it up, and I came to this quote. And this book was by Henry Drummond, who wrote this book. And it said, I'm sure I started off right. The most obvious lesson in Christ's teaching is that happiness is not having or getting anything. It's only in giving. And I repeat, happiness is not having or getting anything. It's in giving. And most of the world is on the wrong scent in regards to happiness. They think it is in having and getting and being served by others. It consists of giving and serving. Those who would be great among you, Christ said, let them serve. He that will be happy, let them remember. It is more blessed, it is happier to give than receive. And I read that quote and it was very profound to me. I was really struck by it. I was touched by it. It's that what I'd like to share with you, that message this morning. And as I reflect on my own life, I find it very hard to disagree with anything that was said. I think of all the things that I have. I think most of us in this room have all of our basic needs met. We all have food, shelter, clothing. But it's rare that I run into somebody who's truly content. I know for myself, I'm always striving and wanting more. For a long time, I've just had a basic cell phone. You know, text and make phone calls. And ever since the iPhone came out, I've wanted the iPhone. I thought, man, that thing, I could run my whole life off that thing. It'd be great to get that iPhone. And it's been a couple years now, and recently I finally did. It was a Droid. It wasn't the iPhone. But this phone does more than I even know how to do. It's got so many applications. I mean, I don't even know half a tenth of what it can do. But then the new iPhone came out with the Siri. It actually talks to you and tells you where restaurants are. And I'm thinking, man, I need that phone. I'm not content with this Droid I have now. And I'm sure if I got that, if I got the new Siri, it would be a matter of months before the new version came out, and I would be discontented with this new version. So, it made me think back of when I was a child during Christmas. I'm sure you could all relate. Remember how excited we got for Christmas. We were just counting the days you can wait, you know. 30 days to go. And, you know, you write your list to Santa. I want this, I want that, I can't wait. And you're just so excited. Then come Christmas morning, it was like, you know, it's like, okay, now what? You know, we're going to have all that excitement come Christmas afternoon, you know what I mean? It's just kind of like, you might be happy with what you got, but then you go to your friend's house and you find out what they got. You're thinking, man, Santa, I should have did what they got. So, you know, a week later, you're totally over it. And again, it just illustrates that point. Happiness is not in giving, or having and getting. And I relate that to on Christmas, we had 25 years ago. We lived in Sacramento at the time, my family. My dad worked for an apartment complex. And at that time, there were a lot of Russian immigrants coming to Sacramento to live. And there were 10-person families living in 2-bedroom apartments. All their clothes were stacked up against the wall. They were sleeping on the floor because they were in poverty. They spent everything they had just to get here. And my dad said to our family, why don't we take the money we were going to spend on Christmas and give it to these Russian families? And I remember at the time not being too keen on that idea. I was really looking forward to Christmas. I didn't want to give my Christmas away. But the family went along with it, so I said, all right, well, here we go. So we were all given a name of a child about our age and some money. And for that year, I had wanted a remote control car. I'd always wanted a remote control car, and that's what I was going to ask for. So I thought, well, that's what I'm going to give this boy I have for Christmas. And the spirit of this. I didn't want to just get a mini remote control car because I know the cheap ones break down real easy. I wanted to get him the best one that I could afford and the money I had for it. So I did that, and we went to these Russians that Christmas morning with all the gifts that we had, and I'll never forget the surprise and the excitement and the gratitude on their faces as we gave them these gifts. And as we left, I saw a tear roll down my sister's cheek, and I was flooded from head to toe with just warmth and gratitude for that experience. And I truly understood that message, that it is only in giving that true happiness comes. I'm very grateful for that experience. And as a young man, though, I got off on the wrong track when I was a teenager. I started drinking and smoking and smoking pot about 13, and I wanted to fit in, I wanted to have fun, I wanted to be cool. And it wasn't long, though, before those activities turned into habits. And I started getting in trouble. I quit going to school, I wasn't doing my homework, I was disrespectful to my parents. I got in trouble with the law because I was stealing alcohol and cigarettes. And all that fun started to turn into a lot of trouble. And I became pretty miserable. And miserable I got, the more I turned to things like drugs and alcohol or to people to make me happy, to make me feel better. And it became a vicious cycle. And my family, my friends, would say to me, "Christopher, what are you doing, man? We love you, don't you? Why are you doing this to yourself? You could be so much better than this." But like I say, the worse I got, the more I turned to drugs and alcohol to fill me up, and it was just a distraction. And there was one person in my life who never had any harsh words for me. That was my grandmother. And she would write me a letter every month. And sometimes she would give me news about the family. And occasionally she would include an inspirational article. And she would always sign these letters with these words: "Christopher, you are special." And she would put an exclamation point and a heart. "We love you. We know that you can turn your life around." Month after month, year after year, I got these letters from my grandmother. And I certainly didn't love myself, but I knew that she loved me. And I did feel special to get those letters from her every month. And after literally hundreds of these letters, I knew that she was right. I knew I could, and I would turn my life around. I did believe her that I could. Oh man, my life really started to fall apart, and I had to great pleasure to meet my wife, Mikhail, came into my life, and she too saw new things that I didn't see in myself. And she served me in numerous ways, mainly by being my friend, and pointed out to me that I was worth saving, and she gave me many acts of service. And I was a very selfish person, and I finally, because of the great people in my life, I was able to start to turn things around, and I finally got a handle on my drug and alcohol addiction. And they told me, "You know what, Christopher, you know the cure for drug and alcohol addiction is service. If you want to get well and stay sober, you need to go find somebody who has the same problems you do and help them. And make that what your life is about. Because your life was so selfish, self-centered, but this is the only way that you're going to be able to turn it around." And I'm so grateful for that message and the willingness to finally heed that advice. And my message to you all this morning is that if you find yourself miserable and unhappy, you have addictions and problems in your life, then you might look around, and you might look around for people that who need your help, and try to offer any service that you can to them, because it is in giving and serving to others that we are truly happy. And I testify to that to you all today.